Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about the possibilities of automating work with SharePoint using Microsoft Flow. With this automation, you can set up automatic saving of certain incoming files, such as invoices, document scans from clients, and more, to avoid losses and minimize human error in the document management system. Let's consider this automation through the example of Michael, an office manager at Fresh Paper Solutions, who constantly struggles with document management, often unable to find the necessary file and frequently losing important documents. Before implementing automation, it's essential to address the issue of creating folders in SharePoint with appropriate names for companies. Michael often faced the problem of inconvenient folder naming, which included not only field names, but also lead, opportunity, and long GUIDs. This made it cumbersome and complicated to search for the required documents. Michael decided to create a flow that automatically creates a folder with the corresponding name on SharePoint whenever a new company is added. This will help him easily find the necessary documents and reduce the risk of losing important information. Before proceeding, let's remind ourselves of a few important points when configuring SharePoint. SharePoint has restrictions on the characters allowed in folder names. We use a formula that removes disallowed characters such as brackets and symbols and eliminates unnecessary spaces. Here's how it works. We have a trigger that activates when a new company is added to the companies table. We then remove invalid characters and extra spaces from the name. Next, we find the document location that corresponds to the accounts library and add a document location for the new company folder. This ensures that when navigating to the company record and clicking related, the relevant documents will open. It's also important to check that there are no slashes in the company name, as this helps avoid technical issues that previously caused headaches for Michael. After that, we create a folder in the company's library on SharePoint and add it to document locations. Be careful with folder naming. First, consider character limitations. Second, avoid trailing spaces in the name to prevent flow from breaking and ensure Michael can get the desired outcome. So, we now have a folder on SharePoint for each company. Now we move on to the second stage of integration, creating a flow that will filter incoming emails. Our task is to filter incoming emails to identify those with attachments and save these attachments in the appropriate SharePoint folder. This way, Michael doesn't have to sift through dozens of emails, saving him time and benefiting the company. It's crucial to identify the specific company from which these documents are sent. This was achieved using shared mailboxes. You can create a shared mailbox in the Admin Center under the Teams and Groups section, Shared Mailboxes. Alternatively, you can use a technical user like the CRM admin at Fresh Paper Solutions who already has an email and convert it to a shared mailbox. This setup allows not only Michael, but all users managing client documents to configure Outlook accordingly. Next, each user needs to set up an email forwarding rule in Outlook. This is quite straightforward. Add a filter for all emails with attachments. During testing, we discovered that it's important to use the redirect to option instead of forward to. If you use forward to, the email will appear as if it was sent by the user who forwarded it, and Michael won't be able to see who actually sent the file. He'll only see who forwarded it. By using redirect to, the email retains the original sender. It's also important to copy this email to the user's inbox to ensure it doesn't get lost, and Michael can view and open it. This way, the email stays in the user's folder and is sent to our mailbox CRM admin. So, how did we implement the search for the company that sent this email with the attachment? First, using the From field, we search for a company by email. If this email is one of the company's emails, we quickly find the company and save its ID in a variable. So, Michael doesn't have to spend much time manually searching for the necessary contacts and documents. If such a company doesn't exist, we add an operator length. If list rows don't find any records with this filter, meaning length equals 0, we then try to find the company through related contacts. We search for contacts by the from email, and if found, meaning length is greater than 1, we save the related account ID. If we don't find the email among companies or contacts, we decide to create a separate folder on SharePoint called General Documents, where we will store files that the flow couldn't automatically classify. Here, the human factor comes into play. Michael will need to periodically review this folder and decide where exactly to save these files on SharePoint. This helps avoid situations where important documents get lost or remain unclassified, which was one of Michael's issues. If we find the correct account to save the file, we get the company ID, locate the document location, extract the related URL, and write the folder address where the file name and its content from the trigger need to be saved. Now we will demonstrate a few ways this process can work in test mode and how it saves data using the example of the company Fresh Paper Solutions. We have one of the test submissions and contacts where our email is saved. So Michael can send a test email to himself, which will be saved in the Fresh Paper Solutions SharePoint folder. Michael sends an email with a subject and a file and image from Dynamics. The email is sent accordingly. The email arrives in Michael's inbox and the technical user's mailbox. The flow linked with Outlook might not process immediately. It may take 20, 30 seconds, or maybe a minute. During this time, let's review the previous runs. Here, we conducted the testing 2 hours ago, and we can see that everything is working. We'll wait a bit, and in the meantime, we'll check another mailbox of Michael, which is not in CRM. The flow is already running, and we can open it to see where the email went. The flow successfully executed, found the company, and saved the file. Now let's go to SharePoint, where in the Fresh Paper Solutions folder linked to Michael's email, we see the file dynamics365.png modified about a minute ago. Next, we'll check another scenario where we send an email from a mailbox that is not in CRM. We send the same file. The email arrives in both mailboxes. This is important so that Michael can avoid missing emails from clients. Here, the email has arrived in Michael's mailbox as a company user and in our system user's mailbox. Let's take a look at how our flow worked. At this stage, we'll have to wait a bit. Currently, the flow should go down a path where it doesn't find any data. 3 seconds ago, he finished his task. He looked for companies, found none, searched for contacts, found none, and saved the file in the shared folder, Accountants Undistributed Files. A few seconds ago, we received this file. This ensures the automation of document workflow and eliminates the human factor where Michael might forget to save a document, attach an invoice, or make a payment on time, potentially leading to penalties. Such issues can be resolved through automation. If you have any questions or want to learn more about other automation possibilities, leave a comment under the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our new and useful videos.